Thank you. I'm not nearly as good a public speaker as my two predecessors. You guys were great. Were you nervous? You didn't seem it at all. I'm nervous. You seem less nervous. I'm impressed. So my name is Hope Mueller. I'm the principal of St. Anne's School. We've had a long-standing relationship with the Guild, and it began really with creative classrooms, with bringing art teachers into our school and then training them in how to do what they already did, but to do it in a more holistic way. Over the past 3 years at our school, we've undergone a bit of a renaissance as a school. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the transformation in our school, St. Anne, and how the Children's Art Guild paralleled that and transformed with us, and our relationship transformed as we did. We wanted to make a change as a school because we recognized that our students are different students than we used to have. They're different students than we were. They are better public speakers. They have more access to information. They are more worldly than we were able to be at their age. And that has pros and cons. And so how were we as educators going to come into this new era of education and really be able to reach out and touch the whole child? So we decided as a school that we wanted to reform ourselves into a new, more student-centered mission where we would be teaching the whole child in a personalized manner. In my discussions with Mark and Alex over the past 3 years, in sharing that new vision that we had as a school, they reminded me quickly, wait, that's our vision too. And it happened that our missions really were aligned, and we became much more of active partners together. So as our mission changed, our partnership changed, and it transformed into a more aligned mission that we had together. The backbone was that belief that as educators, it's not necessarily that we have the ability, but we really have the responsibility of teaching children not just academically, but we need to teach their creative needs, we need to teach their emotional needs, their self-esteem, and we need to teach them problem-solving skills. These are the core backbone of the mission of the Children's Art Guild, and they're now the core backbone of St. Anne. In going along with that, I'll tell you that today, as I said, my predecessors, where is she? She's in the back, over there. They were phenomenal speech givers. So today when I was preparing for this speech, I said, okay, I need to practice. So I called down Paige and Radat. I didn't call down staff members. Paige is an 8th grader, Radat is a 7th grader. They are the two best speakers I've ever met. They can speak in front of a room of hundreds of people without practice, and they will just give a great speech. So I called Paige and Radat down, and I told them what I was doing tonight. I said, I have a speech written, I need you to make it better. And they did. So they coached me. They were, I don't know if they were more excited to get out of class to do so, or if they wanted to really give me their opinions, but they were able to. And that in itself, the fact that these two middle school students came to the principal's office and just sat back and relaxed and said, okay, Miss Mueller, go. Oh wait, stop there. Let me tell you what to do. And that ease, that relationship that I have with those students, that's part of what I'm talking about. That's part of what we need to develop with children so that they can learn how to express themselves freely and respectfully. So in that moment where they were coaching me today, they also started giving me their opinions about what our partnership is like. And so I wanted to share that with you. Paige, whose work is here, displayed here tonight, she has a purple sneaker back way over in the corner. That's Paige. Paige is an 8th grader, and she said, I'm not really good at art, but when I won the art contest, I was really surprised because drawing is not my forte at all. I do have an interest in sneakers though, so when I won, I was pretty excited. Now, that speaks volumes. She's not interested in art. She didn't think she was good at art. It's not her thing. She used the word forte, which made me proud as a principal. But what that said to me was that activity reached Paige. And it brought something out of her that she didn't know was there. And it only happened because of that project. Radat is in 7th grade. She said, I'm interested in art, and when one of my favorite things to do is blend it into my everyday learning, I focus better and do better because it's something that I like to do. Art also helps me express myself, and I hope that other students learn how to express themselves better using art too. I promise I didn't write that for her. That was literally what came out of her mouth as I was typing. There was more, but I couldn't get it. It was too fast. Those were her words. How profound is that? When art is blended into my everyday learning. That's from a child. So it is recognized by the students. They want this. What's interesting is that to live this shared mission that we now have with the Art Guild, it's not just the students, though, who need to be reached. In fact, in more ways, it's us, the adults. We are the ones who need to be reached more so because the students are so eager and willing. They want to change, they want to adapt, they want to learn the new things, the new sneakers, the new technology. But it's us as adults, and I won't ask you to show hands because it's embarrassing, but how many of you struggle with change? I do. Change is difficult. And especially for teachers, parents, change is hard. But if we don't adapt with our students, we will lose them. So when meeting with Alex and Mark and talking about projects and things that I might need from them or ask them to collaborate with me on as we were making our transformation as a school, I wound up focusing a lot more on the adults, and so did they. So the team at the Creative Classrooms gave full support to our music teacher. Our music teacher, Gordon Green, was a great music teacher, or is a great music teacher, excuse me, but he'd never taught art before. And so when he came on full time and took on that section of art classes, you guys were so wonderful about saying, bring him in, we'll help train him. And what they did was they created a personalized professional development plan for Gordon so that it took his natural musical talents and abilities and helped him take that and bring it into the art classroom so that there was a correlation there, and it made him much more comfortable teaching art. And he's doing a tremendous job. But he, who couldn't be here, he was here earlier but couldn't stay, he asked me to express that as well, that he wouldn't be able to do his job so well if it weren't for this partnership. It moved on past just the art music teacher though. A couple of years ago, Mark had offered to come in and do a professional development for our faculty. And he came in, and Alex, you were with him, and they did a project where myself and the teachers were doing an art project, and then we wound up talking about it. And one of the things that we had struggled with in making our change as a school was the relationships between the adults. There was something missing, something we weren't quite unified yet. And it was at that faculty meeting, through this art project, through this all of a sudden us opening up around what we had done, that all of a sudden I heard teachers calling each other by name. I heard teachers sharing personal things that they'd never shared before. And it was that moment that we turned around. It was a turning point for us as a faculty. I'm proud to say that that has continued, and that they've come back for now the past 3 years in a row to do professional developments for our faculty. And I'm proud to say that our faculty is moved into a rapport of humanity. We are not just colleagues, that we are friends. We are humans first. And the students and the families notice that. Last week, it was Principal's Day last week, so if there are any other principals out here, happy Principal's Day to you. On Principal's Day, first grade came up in front of the school, and a little boy, 6 years old, presented to me what the first graders think I do all day. And one of the things one of the students said was, I love that Miss Mueller makes sure she's my teacher's best friend all day. And I said, I don't even know what I've done to make that child believe that. I love the teacher, but somewhere, something about the connection between the faculty, it is resonating to the students. But for us, that began with that faculty meeting that Mark and Alex led to get us to open up to each other. And that's the power of art. it moved past the faculty. And then I went and said, Mark, I think we need to bring this to the parents. And so the next step was bringing in our parents. And Mark and Matthew put together a parent professional development, but a parent workshop that we hosted a few months back. And it was on how to use art to start a meaningful conversation with your child. And children were not invited. So it was just the parents. And the parents did the same type of thing we've done as a faculty, and it was the first time in my 5 years at this school that I saw parents talking to each other about parenting. Not about school stuff, not about the uniform or tuition or grades. They were talking about parenting, and they were trusting each other. And they were telling each other mistakes they'd made and asking each other for help. And it happened in that workshop that Mark and Matthew led. When I went back to them again, because there's a theme here, I keep going saying, hey, that went well, can you help me somewhere else? Recently I went back and shared, in a conversation Mark and I were having about blended learning in our classrooms and how our teachers wanted to shift and make some more project-based learning. And Mark told me about the new endeavor with the artful thinking. And our teachers said, yes, we'll pilot it. And so Mark has been coming in for the past few months and doing these instructions of our lessons where he's been integrating speaking and listening skills and art and literacy, and the response has been phenomenal. And the students asked me if he's coming back next year. I said yes. And then most recently, just 2 weeks ago, Alex was visiting the school, and I was telling him about another endeavor we're jumping in on, where next year we'll be partnered up, some of my teachers will be partnered up with the school in another country, and we'll be doing virtual projects, collaborative. And it's new, and we're not sure how it's going to go, but I was telling Alex, I'm so excited, and Alex got so excited with me, and said, we can help, let's collaborate, and let's help you plan those projects so they're really rich. And that's, what a beautiful thing. So it's through examples like these that I show you that Children's Art Guild is not just here about art. It's not just here for students. They have reached out in my school community to every stakeholder, everyone. They've helped me and my faculty and my parents and my students transform our culture to be more appreciative and wanting of creativity and authenticity. I'm going to brag a bit here and tell you that this year St. Anne the Personal School has received a Blackboard Award for Outstanding School in New York City. We were also named one of 85 schools worth visiting in the country by GettingSmart.com. We were going to close 3 years ago. This year, we're one of the 11 most outstanding schools in New York City. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge and I'm not saying that because I'm the principal, I'm saying that because I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that a good portion of that work was done with this team. If this collaboration weren't here, we wouldn't have seen the growth that we did. We wouldn't see the unity that we now have at our school. This is not just an art program. It is not just a third-party professional development team. This group of people are transformational leaders in education. Their mission to help us as educators become more comfortable and fluent with educating the whole child is exactly what we need in education right now, and it is not everywhere. And for that, on behalf of our community at St. Anne the Personal School, I thank all of you for this. I thank you all for your support of this work, and I hope that you continue supporting this work because it is going so much farther than you even know. So thank you, and congratulations.